Hi everyone, this is Courtney Bean, President of the Board of Directors for the Ontario Physiotherapy Association. As we're midway through the last month of this calendar year, I wanted to send a message to do a few thank yous, talk a little bit about our successes for 2025, and maybe give a few hints of what 2026 might look like. Before doing that, I did want to acknowledge that this December, it feels like winter has come a little bit earlier than we've become accustomed to in the last few years. As a summer kind of person, I do take a lot of comfort in knowing that many Indigenous communities have looked at winter as a time for community bonding, quiet reflection, and rest, and a time for the land to regenerate. I appreciate our Indigenous communities for whom this land has belonged for millennia. So I want to do a few thank yous. I definitely want to thank the rest of the volunteer board of directors of the OPA. I also want to thank the small but mighty team in the office at OPA who drive so much work on behalf of all of us as physios. I also want to thank other volunteers, like our volunteer district executives, the volunteers that sit on our committees, and the volunteers that sit on our working groups. I also want to send a thank you to the many associations that we also work with, not only our other Provincial Physiotherapy Association partners and the National Physiotherapy Association partner CPA, but also OSOT, AFTO, RCA, with whom we've done some great work in 2025. I also want to send a thank you to our college, the College of Physiotherapists of Ontario. And even though our mandates are different, they drive us to provide care with an excellence that truly is seen by all people receiving care in Ontario. Finally, I want to send a huge thank you to all of you, the PTs, the PTAs, and the PT students who are members of this association, because without you, there is no OPA. So on that note, let me start highlighting some of our successes of 2025. And obviously, you know I'm going to start with scope of practice. I think we've now reached 16 years since the legislation has been changed to allow us, with an advanced scope, do things like diagnostic imaging. In 2025, we've seen the greatest movement towards the regulation change that we require to make that move, and we're pretty confident that in 2026, we're going to bring that home. Don't get me wrong, even though we might get diagnostic imaging in 2026, it's not the end, and we'll continue to look for where scope of practice changes need to happen for the profession to be able to drive better care for all those living in Ontario. We've also done a lot of work in 2025 around auto insurance advocacy. We've moved in great strides, and we look to continue working on the compensation for physiotherapists and their teams in the auto sector. We've moved our networking to the next level. Not only are we networking within the community, and we brought people together with interaction through town halls, and always look for opportunities to bring PTs, PTAs, and PT students together, but we've also been networking outside of our profession, and you heard a lot about the other associations with whom we've been working with in 2025. This will just continue to expand in 2026 as we look to expanding our reach. It's been a lot of fun in 2025 to have greater reach with our students, our PT1 and PT2 students. Both Sarah, CEO, and myself have had an opportunity to meet with many of them, but also expanding our reach from the lens of ministry, from the lens of other associations as well. So expanding our reach in 2026 will only continue. We've done a lot of work to advocate for changes in the CPC world, the Community Physiotherapy Clinic world, to make sure that there is enough access for all people requiring physiotherapy in Ontario to be able to access care through a CPC. That work will continue in 2026. We also continue to focus on how do we better support those internationally educated PTs in our province who may not know about the association or may not know how to reach out to us. So we will continue that outreach in 2026. Finally, in 2025, hopefully you'll notice we have a new website. The new website is great, and a kudos to our comms team and office team who've put together a really, really accessible tool for you to get the info you need. I anticipate we'll see some continued changes in 2026, but if you haven't accessed it yet, please do so. So, on that note, I'm going to wish everyone a happy end of the year. For all of those who are celebrating in the month of December, I'm wishing you a very, very happy holidays. And to all of you, I wish you a happy, happy new year. It will be an exciting 2026. Thank you.